Good evening, friends. Back in action again in front of you. Last week I did only one webinar because I was traveling to Amritsar. Today I'm back and tomorrow I'm again with our previous customer. Those who are our previous customer, please note that tomorrow even Mohit is joining in the webinar tomorrow at 7 p.m. So please, I think Amir, that email has gone. Is that my understanding right? Yeah, I think email has gone. You can register yourself. I know markets are volatile and I want to answer the most nagging question all of you are having in your mind. I will be clear cut, brutally honest in my opinion. Please listen to me very carefully and then hold me accountable after 1 year if thing doesn't go as I'm expecting it to go. The reason I'm talking with so much confidence because I always comes with data. I analyze the data, I interpret the data, and I talk with the data. If you remember, and those who have a good memory, somewhere in the month of September, October, I did mention that somewhere the froth is there in the mid and small cap and that has to come off and is coming off. Sometimes you're a little ahead of the cow and things may not happen as you expect it to happen immediately, but eventually it does play out. I know some of you also may be having a question mark in your mind about one fund manager talking about it. If you want to ask questions, my simple advice would be, please go back, do Google search of March 2023, the same fund manager, what he was advising at that point of time. Look at the level at that point of time of Nifty, Sensex, BSE mid cap, BSE small cap, and what is it now. And then you take a call based on that. So I always believe that data does not lie. So if you follow the data and if you believe in data, then do look at the data. So today, before I begin my presentation, of course, I do expect a lot of questions today, so I'll make my presentation a little brief, to the point, precise, so that we can spend more time on the quality questions and answer. But before I begin this webinar, a small disclaimer that this webinar is to enhance your understanding about the equity market. Please consult your financial advisor before buying or selling any stock. Whatever we discuss today is only for your education purpose. There is no way we are recommending or giving you hint of buying or selling in any of the company. When you invest in equity market, it's subject to market risk and past performance is no indicator of future returns. With this, let's begin this one. Now, दिमाग में सवाल ये है, what should be your strategy in this market? What should you do? Lot of fear mongering is there, am I right, in the market. बोलेगा ये हो जाएगा, वो हो जाएगा, tariff हो जाएगा, सब कुछ हो जाएगा. What should you do? There are three options you can do. बेच के निकल जाओ इस मार्केट से, लॉक स्टॉक एंड बैरल, जो कुछ है वो बने रहो, ना बाय करो ना सेल करो, या you buy more in this market. Let's look at each scenario in a very simple manner. Am I right? आराम से उसको एक एक करके देखते क्या होता है. What should we do? ये क्या मार्केट निकलने का मार्केट है? The answer is no. Please do not listen to the market commentary given by the people in the TV studio or the news get published in some of the this one or social media. This is not the market to get out of this market. And this is despite you can't stomach the volatility. I'm again making it loud and clear. This is not the time to exit the market. I do understand. I was talking to someone today morning and he said, Sunil bhai, 40% portfolio niche kya karna hai? I simply, and he said, he's still clueless what to do. I advise him very simple. If you can't understand the market, that doesn't mean that you should exit the market. Give it to the professional fund manager. If you can't drive the vehicle, doesn't mean that you should not go to places, am I right? वो थोड़ी है कि गाड़ी चलाने को नहीं, इसका मतलब आप कहीं बाहर ही निकलोगे. आप ड्राइवर हायर कर लो ना आपके लिए, जो आपकी गाड़ी में आपको घुमाने लेके जाए. That exactly what I'm saying. If you do not understand right now this market, you stomach नहीं volatility होती आपसे, please 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 exit from this market is not an option at all. The fear always forces us to take wrong decision. और ये मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, मार्केट में मेरे साथ पहले जो आ चुके हैं वो बोल रहे हैं. हिस्ट्री बता रही है हमारी कि व्हेन यू टेक डिसीजन बेस्ड आउट ऑफ फियर, इनवेरिएबली यू विल रिपेंट योर डिसीजन लिटिल लेटर. तो दिस इज नॉट द टाइम टू, तो दिमाग में से सवाल ही निकाल दो कि मुझे इस मार्केट से निकलना है. भले मार्केट यहाँ से 5% और जाए, 10% नीचे, मुझे निकलना नहीं है. मेंटली प्रिपेयर हो जाओ पहले. तो फर्स्ट थिंग आई थिंक यू व्हाट यू नीड टू डू इज द मेंटल कंडीशनिंग. I'm not going to get exit from this market come what may. And today the data which has come from the mutual fund shows the maturity of the investors because they put in more money. So आपको भी समझना है कि ये मार्केट में एग्जिट इज नॉट एन ऑप्शन ओनली फॉर यू. वो निकाल ही दो कि आपको डायरेक्शन में जाना भी है. यू डोंट गो इन द डायरेक्शन. नाउ यू रियलाइज दैट ओके यार, यस मार्केट वॉज काइंड टू मी, आई डिड गुड इन 2023, आई डिड गुड इन 2024. 2025 में दिक्कत आ रही है, थोड़ा समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, गिव इट टू प्रोफेशनल फंड मैनेजर. बट आपको घूमना तो है, आपको यू टू यूज द कार, लेट योर ड्राइवर टेक्स यू टू द प्लेसेस यू वांट टू गो. आपका जो फाइनेंशियल गोल है उसको अबेंडन मत कीजिए. टेक इट. द सेकंड ऑप्शन इज होल्ड. आप बोलते हैं मुझे किसी को पैसा भी नहीं देना है, मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, सिट ऑन अ साइड लाइन. देयर इज नथिंग रॉन्ग विद दैट ऑल्सो अप्रोच. बिकॉज कभी क्या है लाइफ में आदमी कंफ्यूज होता है ना, तो समटाइम्स नॉट टेकिंग एनी एक्शन इज द बेस्ट एक्शन. एंड आई विल गिव यू सम फ्रॉम ए वेरी क्लासिकल इंसिडेंट विच Sunil Mittal once said, when Jio came out with the zero pricing model, there was a 2 days or 1 day, I can't recollect now, all senior management sat into the room and they discussed क्या करना चाहिए, what are the strategy we should do to counter Jio का zero pricing model. And Sunil Mittal at the last moment said, I've listened to everyone in this room. What I've decided now to do nothing. जो लाइफ जैसी है वैसे ही चलेगी. We are not making any adjustment to our tariff, come what may. I have also observed in my life those who basically remain calm and composed during the volatile time. They tend to be more successful than the guy who gets carried away in the market. One of our PMS investor message. One fund manager saying 90% is in cash. बेवकूफ़ी है ये. Which someone knows to the perfection that this is the bottom and I'm going to get into the market at the bottom. प्रैक्टिकल नहीं है. एंड माई एक्सपीरियंस टेल्स मी ऑफ लास्ट 30 years, बी ग्रीडी व्हेन अदर्स आर फियरफुल. जो फियर चल रहा है ना मार्केट का, मैं नहीं बोलता कि आपको बॉटम प्राइस में सब मिल रहा है. विलिंग टू टेक अनदर 10%, 15% कट ऑल्सो इन द प्राइस, दैट्स फाइन, बिकॉज यू कांट डू इट टू द परफेक्शन. बट यू विल रिमेंबर दैट डिसीजन, you will thankful yourself after 1 year that what a wise decision you took to. I will give a very classical example. मेरा आज का मैं बताता हूँ आपको. Okay, and I am basically giving you the live data. मैंने क्या किया आज. I am not going to give you the company name. Okay. अभी मेरा तो आदत है मार्केट में जब भी नीचे जाए सस्ते में भाव मिलता तो ले लेने का. तकलीफ क्या है? I bought, I'm not going to give the exact decimal because that will be wrong. Something what I bought at 8:58 in the morning. I bought 8:57. I bought it 8:56. I bought it 8:48. I bought it at 8:46. I bought it 8:44. I bought it 8:40. Of course, and then I put it at 8:35 also, never came actually. Okay. The closing of that company was much higher. Of course, if I give you the price, you will be able to guess the company also. I don't want to do that. Was much higher than what I bought at. Each and every, despite script, every decline I was buying, some slicing the quantity. And the point I'm on to the market always favors the brave. So if your mind is fearful, आप गलती कर लोगे. And I will always suggest what I do, because that's what philosophy I've always done in my 30 years, because I will not recommend something which I'm not comfortable with. The same philosophy I also believe when it comes to stock selection. I will never ever buy a company which I'm not personally comfortable buying that company, because if I'm not comfortable, why should I ask someone else to buy? Which is unfair on my part. As a professional, it's unfair mind. I think this is a time to add more money. I am doing it, so I'm recommending to you, not out of, I don't have anything else to gain. If you put more money, I'm not the seller in the market, I'm the buyer, am I right? So in fact, on the contrary, आपका ही भाव बढ़ेगा, मेरा ही वो हो जाएगा. तो I'm basically, because, and be mentally be prepared, कि थोड़ा नीचे जाएगा आपके परचेस होने के. Even when I bought, even I know. It's not that today only I bought that company. I bought day before yesterday also 900 के भाव में लेके गया हूँ घर पे माल. But I'm mentally prepared. मुझे, because I know why I'm buying. What I'm buying, why am I buying? Am I right? Same philosophy, if you know the company's fundamentals are good, there is no reason why you should not buy that company. सस्ते में मिल रहा है माल. I'm not saying that applies to each and every company, because there's some company with froth was there. So that's a correction that is happening in the values, and that may not be the good thing to buy. But overall, the valuations are going much better. Many companies where froth was there in terms of valuation is going away. Now, the reason I'm saying buy more, because you should accept one thing. I cannot time the market to the perfection. I admitting, and I'm doing that. मेरे पास भगवान ने कोई ऐसी जादुई शक्ति नहीं दी मेरे पास कि आई विल ऑलवेज बी एबल टू बाय एट द बॉटम एंड आई विल बी एबल टू सेल एट द टॉप ऑफ द प्राइस. मेरे पास नहीं है, आई नो. सो एक बार मैंने दिमाग में एक्सेप्ट कर लिया कि दिस इज द लिमिटेशन आई हैव टू लिव विथ, देन योर लाइफ बिकम्स मच मोर, वंस यू आर मोर रियलिस्टिक इन लाइफ, द लाइफ बिकम मच ईजियर. एम आई राइट? सो यू नीड टू ऑल्सो एक्सेप्ट कि यू कैनॉट टाइम द मार्केट टू द परफेक्शन. और मार्केट में एकदम बॉटम पे ही मैं लूंगा. That's not going to happen. Now, to counter that, what I am doing, I am not putting 100% of my money available. So what I am doing, I am also putting as and when my prices are coming of the stock I wish to buy. If I wish to buy 10,000 stock, that 10,000 shares of that company, maybe I will buy 1,000. Maybe I will buy 1,500 if my price comes in. And that's the way basically I'll keep buying, but I'll keep buying. I'm not the one who is going to exit from this market, because I know what lies ahead. Remember, and of course you can play this video again to me on 12 Feb 2026. भाई आपने तो ये बताया था क्या हो एक साल के बाद. Now why am I saying so? There has to be reason for that. One is the gut feeling. सेकेंड इज थिंग दैट आप थोड़ी ज़्यादा इंडियन मार्केट के ऊपर ज़्यादा एक्साइटेड हो, इसके लिए आप बोल रहे हो. यू मे बी बायस इन योर ओपिनियन, बट डेटा इज अ डेटा. सो आई गिव यू रीजनिंग व्हाई आई एम सेइंग सो. एंड इफ यू डोंट एग्री विथ मी, प्लीज रेज द क्वेश्चन इन द क्वेश्चन आंसर. आई विल बी मोर देन हैप्पी टू आंसर. एंड इफ यू थिंक एंड इफ यू हैव अ वेरी वैलिड रीजन, आई विल ऑल्सो एक्सेप्ट, यस आई वॉज रॉन्ग इन दैट पार्ट. लेट मी गिव यू द डेटा. The valuations. There's a movie called Dirty Picture. I don't know how many people saw that movie. Vidya Balan did the acting. And she made a statement in that movie. Movie chalti hai only because of three reasons. Entertainment, entertainment, entertainment. Market chalta hai only because of valuations, valuations, valuations. And we look at the Sensex, 10 years average. The Sensex 10 years average price to earning is 24.3. We are at 21.2. Nifty 50, 23.5, we are at 21.4. And if you broaden the number of companies, that is BSE 500, 24.7 versus 23. Having said that, there are pockets within the mid and small cap which has a froth. Again, I repeat, I'm not saying everything is becoming very, very cheap. There are pockets, there are places where there is a froth. You have to be careful. But is it that out of 100 companies, all 100 companies are now valuations become very, very expensive? I would say no. Today, more than 60% of the companies are available at good valuations, provided you know which that 60%, 40%. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि more than 50% are trading at rich valuation, hence you should stay away, because वो तो law of average की बात कर रहा हूँ ना मैं. More than 60% of the companies are trading at a very good valuations. And hence, there is a high probability that if you invest now on those companies 1 year down the line, you are going to make handsome gains. Market as a rule, the faster it falls, quicker it rises. देख लेना, हिस्ट्री में देख लेना आप, जब भी मार्केट गिरा है तेजी से in a short span of time, it bounces back equally fast. It has happened in the past. It will happen now also. There is no reason why it should not happen. So one is the valuation. Earnings. In the chakkar of tariff and so on and so forth and so on and so forth, can you imagine that India in quarter and quarter and Y on Y has grown at 8.9 and 8%? We are almost coming to back end of this result season. 95% of the market companies have declared the results. Is these numbers are bad by any stretch of imagination? Answer is no. These people, those who are talking about earnings are bad, the same people will come 6 months down the line and say, earnings to bahut achhi thi. On the top of it, corporates are not talking about gloom and doom. They are very hopeful that they will see the better numbers going forward. May not happen maybe for March quarter, but FY 2026 should be better. Now, what makes me confident about that? Let's look at further data. India is an importer of a crude oil. So when crude goes up, it hurts India very badly. एक तो आपको डॉलर बहुत देना पड़ता है उसका, तो which basically creates a pressure on rupee, number one. Crude is an inflationary pressure because जब crude होता है तो आपका inflation बढ़ जाता है, because there are a lot of derivatives of crude, which is this. And because of that, the rate of interest cannot come down because inflation shoots up. Now you look at this data. January, it's 80.2. February, 77.6. This is the Indian crude oil basket I'm talking about, okay? Okay, which is India's concern. India का कितने में crude पड़ता है उसकी बात कर रहा हूँ मैं. क्या WTI है, क्या पे Brent है, उसकी बात मैं तो Indian basket की बात कर रहा हूँ, which has come down by almost by $3 per barrel. $3 on an $80 is near about 2.5%. The beauty is that this $77 will further come down. Why? Drill, baby, drill. That's what the mandate and the loud and clear message being sent by Trump. Yesterday, Hardeep Puri had given an interview to CNBC, and you should listen to that interview where he talk about how do we see the crude oil price going forward. Crude oil supply is higher than the demand. And it's a commodity. What does this mean? Is that the price that we saw $80 per barrel, we are unlikely to see going forward. That's another reason why market also had some jittery in the month of January. It's falling. पर हमारा कोई ध्यान ही नहीं है उसके ऊपर. But that's not all. 4 months in a row, today the CPI inflation has come, which is at 4.31%. We saw 6.21 coming down to 5.48, coming down to further 5.22, coming further down to 4.31. Is this good for the market? Of course, yes. आपका क्रूड ऑयल और क्रूड की इफेक्ट तो अभी आएगी, क्योंकि अभी तो फरवरी में गिरा हुआ है. देयर इज अ लैग इफेक्ट ऑफ दैट. सो डिस्पाइट क्रूड गोइंग अप, आवर सीपीआई कमिंग डाउन. Now 4.31 is a very good data. In fact, it should help. Unfortunately, this data came, I think, post-market hours, if my memory, because I don't look at the market during the market hours, so I don't know. But I think the data has come during post-market hours. 4.31. RBI finally did the rate cut, 6.5 to 6.25. 2024 में तो किया ही नहीं था. And we have been in the time and again saying that the first rate cut will happen from the RBI post-budget, which exactly happened that way. It played out exactly what we had been saying for many months in a row. आपका रेट कट हो रहा है, आपका इन्फ्लेशन लो हो रहा है, क्रूड ऑयल प्राइस हो रहा है. On the top of it, the GST collection for the month of January is up at 12.3%, which has been the second highest since April 2024. So I was talking about that India Inc. numbers. So when you link the data one with the another, you can get an idea what am I talking about. तो डेटा है ये, हार्ड फैक्ट डेटा, ये मैंने घर पे नहीं बनाया डेटा. दिस डेटा आर ऑल ऑफिशियली अवेलेबल आइदर ऑन द गवर्नमेंट वेबसाइट और ऑन द गूगल. बट हमारा ये भी कंसर्न है कि भाई लिक्विडिटी नहीं है. चलो आप अर्निंग्स की तो बात करें, लिक्विडिटी का क्या है. टुडे द म्यूचुअल फंड का डेटा आया. यू लुक एट 26,000 करोड़ सेकंड मंथ इन अ रो SIP इनफ्लो. 26,000 करोड़ इन अ वे. मार्केट महीने में 30 दिन होते हैं ऑन एन एवरेज. फॉरगेट टुडे, दिस मंथ इज February, so 28. On an average, retail investors like you and me are putting 1,000 crore every day, assuming that even market तो बंद होता है, 20 दिन चलता है. Am I right? Because Saturday, Sunday तो market चलता नहीं है. On an average, they are putting in 1,000 crore in the equity market every day. And when you look at the net inflow, I'm talking about net inflow, not the gross inflow. Am I right? 40,000 crore in the month of Jan. Now someone would argue, अरे वो तो 41,000 करोड़ था दिसंबर में, 2,000 करोड़ से तो नीचे हो गया. That's a fair point, but then the beauty lies in the granularity. Where that inflow has come down from? It came down in the sectoral thematic. If you look at this data, okay, let me just यहाँ पे वो कम हुआ है. It was 15,000 crore, that has become 9,000 crore. But if you look at multi-cap, the allocation has increased. If you look at the large cap, allocation has increased. If you look at large and mid cap, the funds have come better as compared to previous month. Mid cap बढ़ा हुआ है. Small cap जहाँ पे बहुत सारी बिकवाली हुई, 4.6 has become 5.721. Dividend yield थोड़ा decline हुआ, but that's not because it's a small amount, 277. Value and contra fund, it has little bit gone up. If you look at the focus fund, that's again gone up. Am I right? So each and every category, and of course the flexi cap, 4.7 has become 5.698. So the quality of inflows remain very, very good. And yes, FP has been a seller. I agree with you. 1.92 lakh crore has been sold by FPI since October. I again repeat, FP are done with the selling. Very soon they are going to become net buyers because of valuation, because of stock Indian earnings, the great budget which has come, which is going to have just put 1 lakh crore at least in the hand of the taxpayer. The capex cycle has not been compromised. Our glide path on the fiscal deficit has been maintained. So what are we talking about? FPI has to have no other choice but to come back. And when they look at the data which is coming from the retail investors, they will also realize कि हमारा बेचने से मार्केट को ज़्यादा फर्क नहीं पड़ा because there is a strong inflow coming in from the mutual retail investors. More than 50% of the BSE 500 companies have fallen by at least 30%. Look at this data. I'm at least 30% from their 52-week high. Can you see this data? Which again brings me back to that point of valuations. Growth in earnings है, degrowth तो नहीं हुआ है. Almost 9%, 8% growth है, Y on Y, quarter on quarter, whichever way you look at it. Prices have come down. So when growth in earnings sustain, valuations come down, market caps comes down, what do you get is a better valuation. So please, 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 ये गलती मत करना. If you remember, you go back, our blogs are available. Look at my blog of Feb 2023. Look at my blog of Feb 2020. Oh, it's all available. मैंने आज नहीं लिखा था तभी मैंने क्या लिखा था उसका कैसे हुआ मार्केट. Again I am repeating this. This is not the market to exit. This is a time to add more to the equity. I am doing it. I am advising you the same. Very quickly, how market perform in last 1 week. Sensex and Nifty are down by 2.7%. Mid and small cap are down by more than 6 and 7%. Of course, the realty index has been one of the biggest losers. So is the case with CPSE and PAC. And that's where we talk about the sector rotation. A lot of people ask us about defense and railway. This is a part of that. The bank Nifty has outperformed the broader indices. And if you look at the YTD, that is in 2024, then Sensex and Nifty are down by 2.5%. It's not that much fall, if I'm right. In the sense, Nifty 500 is down by almost 7%, and the mid and small caps are down in double digit. And Nifty Realty, which was the best performing sector of 2024, definitely we are seeing the profit booking, and because of that, it's down by 20%. Let's open the floor for question answer. अमीर आज जितना बने उतना ज़्यादा क्वेश्चन लेना मेरे भाई. Harish is saying, why Indian markets react to FI inflow and outflow when DI is always buying more? Harish says, sometimes, घर की मुर्गी दाल बराबर. I think somehow we have all this colonial mindset, कि गोरी चमड़ी जो बोलते हैं हम लोग, not literally, don't be, I'm not trying to be racist now, okay? I'm just giving it in a lighter mode actually. I think somewhere we'll basically, tend to believe if foreigner makes a statement, वही statement अगर Indian मार दे तो बोलता है तकलीफ है. For example, when someone say fasting is good, if any Indian would say हम लोग उसको थोड़ा lightly लेते हैं. If some foreigner comes on a TV channel and said fasting is very good for your health, we'll all start believing in that. भाई हम लोग 30 साल से बोलते हैं वो believe नहीं होता है. कोई आके हमें हमको बताता है हमारी चीज़ तो हमको बहुत believe होता है. I think something very similar. FPI inflow and outflow, should you at all give so much importance? I don't. If you ask me, I don't bother to see also what is FPI inflow. I think somewhere we need to focus on. Somewhere, we'll always get too much worried about what is happening at the macro level. भाई आपका पोर्टफोलियो तो माइक्रो पे होना चाहिए ना. आपको तो आपका फोकस कंपनी पे होना चाहिए. मार्केट ऊपर जाए नीचे जाए उससे क्या लेना देना है. आपको तो देखना है भाई मेरे पोर्टफोलियो में कौन से स्टॉक है. वो गिरे, ठीक है गिरे हैं, क्या उसमें चेंज इन फंडामेंटल स्टोरी हुई है कि नहीं, फिर उसमें FI बाय करा कि नहीं बाय, क्या फ़र्क पड़ता है. एंड आई कैन गिव यू विथ मेनी एग्जाम्पल्स where FPI has reduced the stake in the company and company is given bountiful returns. So don't link FPI selling out with the performance, and I can give you many examples. I have observed, I don't have the data readily available, I would have showcased also. So my case is don't do that. Of course, market give react to that. purely because I think somewhere still we have not come out that colonial mindset जहाँ पे अंग्रेज हमारे पे राज करके गए, अभी भी हमारे माइंडसेट में वही है कि जो बाहर वाले करते वो अच्छा है, जो इंडिया वाले करते वो खराब है. आई थिंक दैट्स वेयर द माइंडसेट इज. I remember very distinctly Rakesh Junula making a statement in one of the open forum, which I was also one of the participant, and he said, "Bandar kya jane adrak ka swad." That was the word he had used for FPI behavior in the equity market. Thaddeus sir is saying, "Thank you for your guidance during the market. Please let us know if this is a good time to add more funds to Mojo Pick mid and small cap mutual funds. Kindly advise. Thank you. Regards." My answer is loud and clear, yes. But don't invest for 3 months, 6 months. And I can tell you, the Mojo Pick mid and small cap funds, if you invest for minimum 3 to 5 years, it would have given you much higher returns than the large cap. Indian market has always been a mid and small cap market. It is just that, but unfortunately क्या होता है, हमारा होराइजन बहुत कम होता है. वी गेट लिटिल फेयरफुल. कुछ चीज़ 10% 20% गिरती है, हमारे यहाँ थोड़ा पैनिक हो जाता है. वी स्टार्ट बिहेविंग मोर लाइक ए immature investor. So if your horizon is little longer, please go ahead and buy. If at all you want to, and if for some reason you are little worried more so, please buy in a staggered manner. तो बोलता है मैं अभी 100 रुपया डालना है तो मैं 25 रुपया अभी डालता हूँ या 50 रुपया अभी डालता हूँ, and then I'll slice it in that form. That's the way you should do it. Suri Babu, dear Sunil, Jan 2000 stock of the month has been bought, but why is it doing very bad currently? What the fundamentals are excellent. What is your take on that? And advise whether hold or buy or more sell off completely. Sir, whenever we recommend stock of the week, stock of the month, Mojo stock, the stock that you hold in your model portfolio, they're all excellent, good quality company. One should not judge the companies from the price movement. If it has come down, it's all the more reason it's available at a good valuation. You should go ahead and buy. I think that's the way you should look at it. Because there is nothing change in the infra story, 11.2 lakh crore, which will be spent by the government, by the central government. If you add state plus central PSU, we'll be spending about 20 lakh crore in FY 2026. So please go ahead and buy if you want to buy more. Having said that, we keep saying, please ensure that you don't take too much exposure to one particular company or one particular sector. Am I right? So buy, our thresholds are normally 10% in single company, 30% in one particular sector. So that's the way you should look at it. If that sectors and limits and company limits are not breached, please go ahead and buy. Rajan, is metal sector to be avoided for the present due to impending tariff? Is it a good time to do lump sum investment now, and would flexi cap be better or large and mid cap funds? So Rajan sir, it's all depending upon what's your time horizon. If your time horizon is little short term, please avoid mid and small cap. Stick to the large cap. If your time horizon is 3 to 5 years, continue with your mid and small cap journey. Don't disturb that mid and small cap. Now, metal sector to be avoided for the present. See, I think the metal sector is a function of also what happens to the China. If China comes back with the growth, the metal companies should do well. If the China growth is a little subdued, don't expect metal companies to do well. So I think it's a function of right now. It doesn't give any indication that China is doing well. So I think that's where it will happen. Having said that, now someone would ask, we do have one stock of the month, which is from the metal. Should we buy? That's the story there is more of a sum of a total value, which is more of a demerger story than anything else. So I think that's what. And is it a time to do lump sum or would be flexi cap be better or large? I think I said if you are not comfortable doing one go, you can stagger your investment, which I'm also doing, to be very honest with you. It's not that the largest sum is into already invest in the market. But whatever the small amount I'm having, I'm doing staggering. That's what I'm doing. So it's not that 90% ऑलरेडी इन्वेस्टेड है मार्केट में. सो जो 10% है बैलेंस उसको आप उसको स्ट्रगल कर सकते हो. दैट्स हाउ लेट मी पुट इट. अदर्स यू विल गेट मिसकंक्लूड एंड बेसिकली कुछ गलत दोगे. ऐसा नहीं है कि मेरा 10% ही इन्वेस्टेड और 90% मैं कैश पे बैठा हूँ एंड विच आई एम गोइंग टू स्ट्रगल. मेरा 90 तो ऑलरेडी इन्वेस्टेड है मार्केट में. वो 10% को भी मैं स्ट्रगल कर रहा हूँ बिकॉज आई कैन गेट अ बेटर प्राइस. दैट्स द ओनली थिंग. सो आई डोंट नो व्हेन द बॉटम वुड हैड व्हेन द स्क्रिप्ट विल बेसिकली बाउंस बैक. आई सेड ओके that gives me comfort and let me put it this way. That's what I'm doing actually. USA debt is around 36 trillion USD. Is it concern for share market all over the world? I don't know, Sankar sir. As long as people don't have other options to have as a reserve currency, I think dollar, there will be enough demand for the dollar, and that's exactly what is happening. So is it a concern as of now? Answer is no. It could be a concern going forward. Answer may be yes. We need to wait and watch. I think one thing which we must remember that the current the government which is there in US, I think somewhere they are sending a very strong and loud message. They don't try to de-dollarize, try to stick to the dollar as a reserve currency. Don't try to do trade in other currency. So I think there is a little reason right now that we should be little too much concerned about 36 trillion. Is it a concern today? No. Will it be a concern going forward? Maybe answer is yes. But don't try to discount too much in advance. That's what my suggestion would be. Rajkumar, Namaskar. I'm your fan. I would advise you give. Thank you, sir. I would like to know what is the difference between Mojo stock and Mojo One strategy stock. So very simple. Mojo stocks are all stocks which are buy or strong buy in our system. Mojo One strategy includes Mojo stock plus 3 more strategy, which is turnaround, momentum now, and reliable performer. Not necessarily those companies may be buy as per our score on this one. Like Mojo stock will always be buy and strong buy. Mojo stock is for those investors who are a little conservative, do not want to take too much risk. Mojo One strategy is for those investors, which also includes Mojo stock, I must tell you that, are for those investors who are willing to take more risk. They believe more into momentum. That's the difference. What mix of large cap, mid cap and small cap is recommended for a medium risk portfolio? Sir, I would suggest put maybe 50% in large cap, 30% in mid cap and 20% in small cap. That's the way you can look at it with the medium risk. Mohan Kavan sir, I have lost quite a bit on stocks. Stock of the week lost much. Do I hold on to stock? Definitely, sir. Please hold on to. These are good quality companies. Stock of the week. Please don't be in a rush to get out of it. The valuations become very good. If you have money, it's not a bad idea to buy more of the same company. Rajendra Das, Guru sir, thank you sir. Is it right time to buy new shares or average fundamentally strong shares which are already in portfolio? Please reply. Your reply is important for decision making. If it is recommended by us, okay sir, because I don't know when you say it's already in the portfolio, is it our recommended stock or you bought it on your own? If it's our recommended stock and the score is still buy and strong buy, please add more. It's not our recommended stock. You bought on your own, then you need to do one simple test. The reason why I bought that company is the same reason continues to be there or not. If the answer is yes, please go ahead and buy of the same company. Because if you buy more new company, what's going to happen? Your number of stocks in the portfolio keep increasing, which is not a very good strategy because eventually it is not going to play out well for you because the law of average will kick in. So I would not recommend that. So it's a function of, is it a Mojo stock or is it recommended by us in a model portfolio? So you can buy more of that. That's no problem with that. Otherwise, revisit the company. But I wouldn't be very comfortable buying new shares. The company which I'm talking about, which I'm buying in my personal portfolio, is the company which I'm holding in my portfolio. I'm buying more because I don't want to increase the number of companies in my portfolio. That's the way I'm doing it. Sunil Gupta, after many long time, sir, you are back in action. Post your stock selection based on IP. How many times stock perform better FCT compared to the pre-stock selection? Please do so, and we'll answer to your underperformance against the benchmark. Sir, I'm not very sure what exactly the question. Post your stock selection based on IP. How many times the stock perform better? FCT. What is FCT? Huh? Compared to pre-stock selection. What is pre-stock selection? Please do so, and will you answer to your underperformance against the benchmark? Sir, I'm afraid, Sunil sir, your question is not very clear to me. I don't know what is pre-stock selection, what is FCT. I think maybe we can connect offline, and we can try to understand your question better. So maybe my answer would be more appropriate. I don't want to make hazard a guess and give answer which not something you wanted to hear from me. Balaji, hello, MarketsMojo team. You cannot time the market, understand, but you can time your webinars and start them on time every time, right? I had brought this to the attention of Mr. Sunil and Mohit over a year now, but all your meetings start late. Hope you understand the impatience of the attendees. Sorry, sir. I apologize, sir. The reason why, Balaji, sir, we start little late because you people are not on time. And then if we start the webinar and if you have covered something, so if you look at the number of people live at 7 p.m. are very few. So it's a chicken and egg situation. If you don't have the audience at the right time, then if you covered something, then they'll want us to repeat because they say, oh, sorry, I joined little late. Can you just say the same thing again? So that we have seen, sir, Balaji, sir. That's the reason we start by 7:04, 7:05. That's a kind of a stuff. But if there are more people at 7, we'll be more than happy to start the webinar at 7. We have no reason because I'm anyway in front of the camera. It's not that I come late and that's why we're starting late. The only thing we want some audience also to be there so that everyone gets the benefit of our presentation. That's the only reason. But if there are more people as you are on time, I'll be more than happy to start 7. So is the case with Mohit also. Balaji sir, there's one more thing I must tell you that. I'm very particular about the timing. So if I have a meeting also, even those who have been, we do a lot of reviews with our PMS customers also, they will always realize that I'm always on time. So if I've given an appointment at 2:30, before 2:30 I'll be there in the front of the camera. So that's the way I'm particular. Not only for that, even we have internal meetings, I would always be on time, come what may. And if I have to offline meeting also, if I have to go and meet the management also, I'll always be on time. So it's in my DNA to start on time. The only thing, I want audience also, and I want everyone. So what Balaji sir is saying, if every one of you can come in time, I have no reason not to start at 7 p.m. Anshul, hello sir, your views on private life insurance company. A lot of negative news have already been discounted in this sector. So this is my personal view. I think the life insurance companies should do well for the very simple reason. The penetration of life insurance is still very, very low. FDI has been increased to 100%. I think that's another good thing which has happened in the budget. People will save more. Why? Because the 1 lakh crore has been put in the hands of the customer and the taxpayer. Somewhere that money will go into some of the insurance premium product. Why? Because people now understand the value of the life. Okay. And today morning only I was asking someone, what simple सवाल था. If you want to take a life insurance, what amount you should take? There were 3 people with me, and all 3 people had 3 different answers. They were all clueless. What is the right kind of amount that life insurance we should take? And I can tell you with a lot of confidence, even those who have life insurance policy, they are underinsured. Why they are underinsured? Because they have not factored in the time value of the money. वो सोचते कि आज का 1 करोड़ 25 से 60 साल के बाद 1 करोड़ नहीं होने वाला है. If you assume the 7%, inflation, and then you find out the present value of that 1 crore, you'll be shocked that you are underinsured in that. Now that learning will happen, that knowledge will happen, and that will increase the penetration of the private life insurance. So I am bullish on private life insurance companies. So this is my personal opinion. Please don't then tomorrow write to our customer care department, then why companies are not recommending model portfolio, why these companies are not in our model portfolio, why the score is not buy and strong buy. And Sunil sir, my request not to you but everyone those who are attending the webinar, don't get confused with my personal view with what's available on the MarketsMojo site. Soundararajan, should one shift from equity to mutual fund safety of capital and to get capital appreciation? Sir, I don't know whether you are aware or not, there are many mutual fund schemes in 1 month period are down by 15%, 1-5. You remember one defense mutual fund scheme came in 2024? You know what the valuation is that? How much discount is available at? तो आप ये सोचते हो कि कैपिटल आपका सेफ है म्यूचुअल फंड में, वो थोड़ा सही नहीं है. हाँ, पर यू से आई एम नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड ओनली इक्विटी and let's professional fund manager does it, then it's a different story. Then yes, you should give it to that. But don't with the assumption that my capital safe है. शायद उसका भी नुकसान होगा, that may also see, शायद कम होगा as compared to yourself. But never ever assume, so when you invest in the equity market, your capital is always as a risk. Remember that simple fact. When you invest in the equity market, you should be willing to see the drawdown in the portfolio. But over a longer period of time, it would have done better than this one. So, loss of safety of capital ऐसा कोई सब होता ही नहीं है in the equity market. Mandar sir, hello. India stock market form goes hand in hand with the Virat Kohli's form. Until he scores 100, markets will not bounce back. Sir, very interesting insight, sir. I have not done that kind of a correlation. Assume Virat Kohli tomorrow retires. तो क्या हिंदुस्तान का मार्केट बंद हो जाएगा क्या? So I think, sir, it's a good to have this kind of a stuff. There is no correlation. If at all there is a correlation, there is a coincidental correlations. Don't read too much into it. I don't know what Virat Kohli did in 2024. Did he score runs or not? I am not able to recollect. But 2024 में तो मार्केट ने तो अच्छा किया. So I don't know. It's a good insight, sir. I don't believe in this kind of an analysis. I don't believe in this kind of a correlation. At the best, I would basically take it in a lighter mode and basically move on. Mahesh sir is saying, my question on silver, should we aggregate silver in staggered manner? And what is your target for silver in dollar basis? Sir, I don't have any target because आप लोग फिर मुझे पकड़ के रखते हो उस target को लेके. I do believe silver should do well. In fact, if you go back to my equity outlook 2025, I mentioned that silver should do well. So please go ahead and buy. If you don't have the money, please buy in a staggered manner. But yes, silver should do well. That's what my sense is in 2025. Frank, hi Sunil, as gold nears 3,000, how is it surge compared to Bitcoin and stock market? All three are different assets. One should not compare one with another. And I kept on saying again and again, Frank sir, one should invest in precious metal not because you have a view on the precious metal. You should invest in precious metal because it's a right assets allocation strategy. 10 to 15% should be only in the precious metal without any view on the metal. And how do you suggest compares to Bitcoin and stock market? I don't know. To be honest with you, and I was making some presentation. I'm doing some presentation with the doctors on this Sunday, and I was compiling some data. And when I look at 10 years, which is the best assets class in last 10 years, the Nifty 50 is on the top, followed by the gold. Okay, So gold is a commodity. It will move up, move down. On an average, it will give you near about 8 to 9% return on an average. Okay, and there will be some period which will give you more, some period it can give you less also, and some period it can give you negative returns also. Am I right? So that, and in bitcoins, I don't understand, sir, how the Bitcoin prices are get decided. I have no clue. So my choice would be debt only, which is you need for contingency fund, 10 to 15% in the what we call gold and silver, and balance in equity. That's how you should look at it without going too much into which one will do better than the other one. The bitcoins, zero allocation. I wouldn't recommend only. Devasis, sir, you said that valuation. What is your view on the Mojo stocks, including reliable momentum and hidden value valuations high side? I'm requesting to comment on overall, not on the stock specific. So, sir, if there are companies which are reliable momentum and hidden turnarounds, even if the valuations are high, please go ahead and vote it, because that is as per the IP, and IP has basically factored into those companies which valuation high but still has a scope to give a better capital appreciation. So that's the way you should look at it. The only caveat there is that momentum and hidden turnaround does carry a little higher amount of risk, and hence you should venture into those companies only and only if you can stomach the volatility. So that's the way you should look at it. But if there are buy on our side, please go ahead and buy, provided it basically fits into your risk appetite. In fact, you'll be surprised to there are many companies which have Mojo stock also would have a high valuation, and still they would give a lot of capital appreciation to our investors. Lakshmi, Sunil sir, all mid and small caps are beaten like anything. Instead of having good fundamentals, they are being sold by big investors by saying that mid and small are expensive. So for 2000, should we move all our investment to large cap? One problem: when are we busy? Mid and small Mojo is having buy rating, but soon they start falling. Mojo changing the score to sell. If I understood your question correctly, so let me first answer the first part of your question. Mid and small cap expenses, so avoid 2025 and go to large cap. As a trend, yes, that can happen. Okay, but within the mid and small cap, there will be some companies which will do well. So it's not that you need to basically get out of a mid and small cap lock, stock and barrel. So that's not the right strategy. But yes, overall it does look a little frothy. And if you go back to my equity outlook 2025, I have exactly said the same thing. So I think basically the way markets be behaving, it's too little early to celebrate, but the initially it's behaving the same way which I have been predicting. I have predicted in January 2025. Now you're talking about, I think this company like mid and small cap which has become buy soon become a score to become sell. In that case, you need to get out of it. If it is hold, you can continue to hold, but if you need to follow in a disciplined manner. So, if the script has become, it was a buy, become sell, please follow that in a very disciplined manner. Sometimes, it's very difficult to book losses, but so be it. Booking profit and booking losses is a part of life, your investment journey. So don't give one importance too high to profit booking and low importance to sell loss booking. Both should be given based on the discipline. That's why I said discipline is very important. And following IP is a part of your discipline process. If you believe in discipline, please follow our IP in a very disciplined manner. When we advise you to exit with a sale, please get out of that company without any emotions. Many IPOs are recounted as subscribed by MarketsMojo in last few months. Now these IPO stocks are corrected significantly from the high or listing prices. Can one buy these stocks now to no Mojo score is available of the districts? Please enlighten on this aspect. So if the company was subscribed by us and if the available at a good discount, you can definitely go ahead and buy those companies. Why? Because when we evaluate the company, we don't evaluate the company from the listing gates. We evaluate the company based on its fundamentals. Who are the people behind running the businesses? What is the fundamental outlook on that company, and whether the valuation price at which companies come out with. And that's where you should basically go ahead. I'll give you a classical example. I don't know how many people attended. So, those days I used to analyze IPO. And there was one company called 5 Star Business. That's an NBFC company. And at that point of time, we just started our IPO analysis. I had recommended subscribe to that. And those days we used to make videos also, which used to go on social media. अभी करते हैं नहीं करते? आमिर, IPO market का social media करते हैं नहीं करते अभी? अभी stop है. But those days we used to do it, okay? I had recommended subscribe to that. Whatever happens, unfortunately, that issue did not subscribe only fully. And there was a fear in your people's mind that क्या होगा? And I said, if it is a subscribe, the company will make money for you. And then post-listing, you can see the price of that company. Of course, ये 2-3 साल पुरानी बात है. So that's what I'm saying. If it is subscribe on MarketsMojo, rest assured the company has been evaluated very thoroughly by us. And hence it has been put subscribe. It was not for listing gains. Rajesh, which mutual fund to consider for lump sum investment in this fall? Sir, we have a beautiful mutual fund site. Please go through that and use that. We have our IP to rate the mutual fund. And based on your risk appetite, you can select which one you wish to go. There's a large cap available, flexi cap available, mid cap available, small cap, whatever suits you. ELSS is available. Whatever suits you, go ahead and buy with the lump sum, sir. Our website do have. I don't invest in any mutual fund scheme, so I'm actually not the right person to answer that actually. Sridhar, today data about inflation which helpful, that is dipped for 5 months or to 4.31 in the January. Food and beverage inflation is to 5.7 to 7.1 in December. These are not the good signs for India. What is your thought on this? Sir, why these are not good sign? Inflation come ho. Why is it not a good sign? I don't understand, sir, that logic. On one hand, your GST collections are improving. Inflation is coming down. Rate of interest come down. Why it is a bad sign? कुछ समझ में सर मुझे आप बताइए सर. Please expand this, sir. You explain your question, sir. I want to know why it is bad for us. What is your view on textile sector, Satish sir? Many smart investors can start buying textile stocks. Tailwind is there. So I was listening to one of the garment exporter from India, and he was extremely bullish about the garment exports. Why? Because Bangladesh is having its own challenges and tariff and so on and so forth. And he's saying we also have a factory in Africa which doesn't come under the tariff. So. And he was sounding very gung-ho about not only FY 2025, which is the last quarter of FY 2025, but he was explaining for FY 2026 also. So there are certain pockets, especially those who are basically playing the Bangladesh plus one kind of a strategy because of geopolitical situation. I think they can do well. That's what but overall, we see textile is a very huge sector. You know, there are someone who is only into cotton. There are someone who is into the processing of the fabric. There's someone who is into garments. There's someone who is into branded ready-made garments. There's someone who basically are into garments but doing exports. There's someone into home textiles and so on. So it's a very huge sector. You can't have everyone doing well. So I think you have to be a little stock specific. But the one company which I was listening to yesterday, I think they were sounding quite bullish on that, the business prospects. So if you are referring to that company, maybe you can consider that company. It's not a recommendation, a buy recommendation from my side, but maybe you can evaluate that company as a part of your investment process. Anil sir, in respect with the model portfolio, the benchmark returns of the portfolio is now displayed IRR post 1 year completion of the said portfolio, which is how it should be. However, the benchmark returns from the date of commencement of the portfolio till date should also be provided in real time, as it was previously to enable us to review the performance vis-a-vis the benchmark in such a volatile times too. We are long-term investors, but volatility of benchmark is important. Kindly guide. Anil sir, I don't know whether it gets updated on a real time or not. Assume it's not getting updated on real time. एक दिन में क्या फर्क पड़ जाता है? शाम को तो हो जाएगा ना, आपका बेंचमार्क से पता चल जाएगा आपका क्या हुआ है क्या नहीं हुआ है. On one hand, you are saying I'm a long-term someone, you want to do minute to minute, performance versus benchmark versus the portfolio. It makes a little sense, sir. But anyway, I'll take this concern. मुझे एक सवाल भेज देना. I'll try to figure out whether benchmark returns get रियल टाइम में होता कि नहीं होता. I'm not very sure. I'll speak to my product team. ये जेसन को भेज देना भाई. हाँ, और मुझे भेज देना. I'll also take it up. But we'll figure it out. But if you ask me, you should not give too much importance to it. To be very frank with you, we'll try to do it real time. But if it is not there also, I don't think you should basically concern about so much about this actually. Not at all. Vishal, hi sir, despite you showing us the good macro numbers of India as an economy, but why is the market still giving more confidence on US macros? For example, after our inflation data was released, GIFT Nifty was trading on positive side. As soon as the US inflation data came, which is on the higher side, immediately GIFT turned negative with similar range. So Vishal sir, in a maybe on a 1 day moment, 2 day moment, this can all happen, because it's ultimately sentiment. Sentiments are a little fickle. वो आज अच्छा है कल खराब हो जाएगा. Today only you see that market was down, suddenly moved to green and again it came down. उसका कोई कभी कभी रीजनिंग नहीं होता. It's just that. So don't see ultimately what matters in a long run is the macros, right? Market is a slave to earnings. If the earnings are good, market has to do well, come what may. And if the earnings are good, जो FPI वो भी आ जाएगा आपके पास पैसा खरीदने के लिए आपका माल. So I don't read too much into GIFT Nifty में क्या है क्या नहीं है. Don't read too much. The data are clearly suggesting is that things are not as bad as many people experts are saying so. And due to that, use every dip in the market to add more. That's what my advice, loud and clear to all of you. Rija Rajan, sir, fertilizer and agro stock, is it okay to buy now since you have also told monsoon can be normal? Yes, you can actually. Be careful with what you get into because some of the fertilizer companies, fertilizer companies also get some advantage if that power consumption that they can do on efficiency level, and that can add into their top line and the bottom line. So be careful with that actually. And of course, some of the agro stocks, yes. The only problem with fertilizer and agro stocks, over a longer term, they have not been a great wealth creators. We do own some fertilizer companies in our PMS portfolio, and we evaluated the company, we spoke to the management, and we are confident that's why we're holding those companies in our PMS. But most of them within the fertilizer and agro may not be a great buy. So I think you have to be really very great, selective in terms of stock selection, because in many times if the management quality is not so great, normally this company don't end up creating wealth for the investors because they don't know how to navigate the cycle, they don't know how to understand the global scenario and so on and so forth, and that could impact. The fertilizer subsidy in the last budget has been good. The one budget which has been presented has been good, and the finance minister said loud and clear, if need be, we can increase the subsidy also. So yes, be stock specific, but normal monsoon is likely to be normal this time. That's true. Rao is saying, when diesel and petrol are not reduced, how will the drop in crude benefit stock market? So sir, one is the crude price. There are certain derivatives of crude which are driven by the international crude oil prices. जैसे आपकी पेंट्स कंपनी में है, उसको पेट्रोल डीजल का प्राइस नहीं भी हो, पर उसका जो रॉ मटेरियल हो तो क्रूड और डेरिवेटिव्स है, उसके प्राइस डेफिनेटली कम हो जाते हैं. जो पैकेजिंग जो है उसके जो है दैट्स ऑल्सो गेट बेनिफिट. सो पेट्रोल एंड डीजल इज अ डेरिवेटिव्स ऑफ द क्रूड एंड वन ऑफ द डेरिवेटिव्स ऑफ क्रूड. वहाँ पे नहीं गिरे, बट दैट डजंट मीन दैट बाकी सब पे इम्पैक्ट नहीं होगी ना. दैट्स रॉन्ग टू एज्यूम. सो दैट्स हाउ इट बेसिकली गेट्स द. सो व्हेन योर इनपुट कॉस्ट गोज डाउन, इट डज बेनिफिट. आइदर यू पास ऑन दैट, you get in volume, or you retain and you expand your margin. That's how it works. How I've said, I hope I've loud and clear what I wish to convey in this. We don't have questions. एक तो ले, तू लास्ट मिनट में मुझे बोल देगा अभी बंद करो तो थोड़ी चलेगा यार. तुझे एडवांस वार्निंग तो दे मेरे भाई. चल दो सवाल ले ले और मेरे भाई. Amit is little tired, look like. Sarifa, hi Sunil, please add product segment wise revenue and profit backup in the finance section so we can check. I think it's available if my memory serves me right. It's available. Let me see if where is it available so that I can मेरा तो दिखेगा अभी कि नहीं दिखेगा? नो नहीं दिखेगा. ओके ठीक है. So let me just I'm going to one company, okay, and see if I can see that. हम लोग आई थिंक सेगमेंट वाइज होता है हमारा. Go to company CV and then go within the company CV, you go to the business segments. The second the line is there, and so there are 4 things. Company CV, when you click on that, it says company CV, business segmentation, raw materials and finished goods. वहाँ पे आपको मिल जाएगा segment wise. If you are still finding it difficult, please ask Jason when he comes. Jason का कभी Monday को webinar है, or maybe Tuesday you can ask him and he'll be more than happy to take you through that. Manish is saying, if you buy same company, then don't you think it's averaging the price? If yes, then the most of the person suggest that don't average stocks. So Manish sir, again I'm very happy that you raised this question, because I think the way you have a doubt, others would also have a doubt on this in their mind. When you buy a company, if the script falls and the story remains the same, there is no change in the fundamental story, the valuation become attractive, and that you can do the averaging. But just for the sake of averaging, because the script has fallen, I want to buy, I think that's a wrong strategy, because that's like you are catching a falling knife. The company may have fallen 50%, it may still fall further from that level. Like I'll give you a classical example. 2018, I think 2018 ही होगा. DHFL fell in a single company 50%. I know someone basically from Kerala bought that company saying 50% सस्ता मिल गया. मतलब तेरे को गारंटी है कि वो 50% और 90% नहीं जाएगा. And that exactly what has happened. Of course, eventually the company got delisted. So I think averaging, don't get confused. Averaging, you don't have to do averaging in all companies. But where your conviction levels are high, you should definitely do that. Whether you do averaging up or averaging down, that's a different story. But you should do that. That's for sure, because you are buying in the more convinced stock. There is nothing wrong with that. What is wrong with that? Because the story remains good, you buy more of that company. And if you keep buying more and more company in your portfolio, the number of stocks in your portfolio keep increasing. Then the law of average will come and you will lose out on the generating the alpha. So my advice, some companies definitely you can do averaging provided the story remains good. Last question, I know I said 2 and you've covered 2, but let's be little fair. Last question, please. तो 8:15 बज जाएंगे. We'll conclude then, so that people can also have their meal peacefully with their family members. है सवाल एक सौरभ. What steps should government take to boost FII's confidence, as this was one of the needed factor to get market back in the growth phase? Currently, the rupee devaluation and slowdown in capital, the GDP growth is something which might be putting to FIIs off. Your views on this? I think Saurabh sir, what FIIs to do is ease of doing business, and that's exactly what has been done in the budget. Growth in earnings. See, FIIs are also fund manager. Their job is to generate alpha. Am I right? And they will go to those markets where there is a ease of doing business, there is a growth in earnings, there are more good transparency level, good corporate level. They will come back. So I don't think that's a. See, sometimes we do get a little concerned by this thing. The same FPI invested record investment in 2023. In 2024 also they will overall they were net positive only. 500-600 crore का उन्होंने डाला था. But because of recently last 4 months they sold near about 2 lakh crore, we are getting little pot up. But I think ease of doing business which has been done by the government, putting doing reforms which has been done by the government. And number 3, I think the growth in the earnings and FPI will come back. In fact, I must tell you that I should not be, I'm just telling you, I put one friendly bet with one of my friends. And I told him in the month of February, FPI inflow would be positive. As of today, it is negative. So I'm likely to lose. And we said, we'll go to a restaurant called Loya, which has been opened in Taj very recently, Taj Bombay, Gateway of India. Whoever loses, that friendly bet has to put the bill. So I'm giving you that. So that's the way. I should not be saying this, but since you asked me that question, I thought let me give you this answer. With this, thanks a lot everyone taking time out and attending this webinar. Tomorrow, Mohit and I both are in front of you for our PMS customer with some interesting data point. Okay, exclusive for our PMS customers. Please come and join all our PMS customers. Good night. Take care.